Hit it, Jimmy.
How about Van Pelt? Huh? Alex Van Pelt. Woo!
Thoughts on the 3 rookie quarterbacks who started on Sunday? All were disappointing. Who was the most disappointing and or concerning to you?
Yeah, start Drake May. He's going to be. All I could think about watching these guys struggle is like, you really wanted Drake May out there?
Yes.
Like, obviously, yeah. Jimmy, you wanted Drake May out there? Why? I mean, all these guys, just, let them adjust. Let them sit and watch like one game. Caleb Williams, he had an expected completion rate of 64.4 in that game. He actually completed 48.3. He was third worst in the league. Only Daniel Jones and Bryce Young were worse in week 1.
Caleb Williams. Again, he came into the most, can I call it, supportive structure? Weapons line, they had picks, like the whole thing. He was the most set up for success. And they would have lost that game if not for the idiocy. That was the Tennessee game, right?
Correct, yeah.
Not for the idiocy of Will Levis.
The answer is Mazz's precious Bo Nix, who threw 12 passes over 10 yards on Sunday. 2 were intercepted, 3 more should have been. Go watch the clips of this. And also enjoy the clips of this. Adam Archuleta, the color man of this game, every time pretty much that Bo Nix goes back, you hear him go, oh no. Bo Nix was a mess against Seattle on Sunday.
What did he throw? How many yards did he throw for? It was like
148, 138, something like
with
that.
like 49 pass attempts.
Would not
42.
surprise me one bit if they all suck. In fact,
No, here we go.
that's what I would bet on. None of them.
Where's your chart?
None of them are going to work. Next.
Dumb. Stupid play.
That's my take, Murray. Maz, no, thoughts on the dynamic kickoff, Greg?
It's a bust. They screwed up moving the touchback. Back to the, what is it, the 30?
Yep.
They should have had it the 35 or the 40. Like, make it some
real
sort of
penalty.
risk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's useless. Again, it's useless, and the Bills still gave up a touchdown.
Because there was wind, and this is the thing. The only thing that's going to force a return is high wind. Otherwise, the thing's completely useless. There has to be a bigger penalty, like Greg said.
So 100% the touchback was stupid. I said it the second they did it. Like, why'd you do this? So they're inviting teams to kick off. But I'm going to, and I've said this a couple times. Now, though, I also want to give a little grief to the teams in the NFL. You big pussies. They're all afraid. You're afraid to cover the kick? What, was it last night? Maybe it was a Sunday night game. I saw one of these kicks where they sort of dribbled it into the zone. They covered it, and they stopped the guy short of the 20, like at the 17. Maybe it was the Jets last night. I don't know. But it's like you're all so afraid that you can't cover this kick, that you don't want to drop it in there and cover it and hold them inside the 20? What a bunch of fraidy cats. Seriously. What a bunch of gutless. I mean, it makes my blood boil. It's like, are all of you afraid just to play the game? Play. Give it a shot. Cover it. Dribble it down there. Hold them inside the 20. Don't just concede the 30. You're that. Well, how much am I paying the special teams coach? I know it's not much, but whatever it is, I'm paying you $275,000 to kick it out of the back of the end zone. I could hire my nephew and give him $6 an hour to do that. Go, good job, guys. Like, someone get off their ass and do something.
If the return man's Deebo Samuel or maybe Tyreek Hill in Miami, no. That's going right in the end zone.
Seriously, though.
We'll have to fight another day.
But I just think these teams are gutless.
There were more than I thought they were. I was just looking up. Everybody had at least one. The Panthers had 9. Of course, they gave up like 8 touchdowns.
Had 9 kickoff. Had 9 returns.
9 returns, yes.
The returns are actually up. It was just we were all expecting a lot more. Next. 2-0's on the table. What's wrong with the Cleveland Browns, number 8?
I mean, Deshaun Watson, ever since he got the contract, the whole, his problems off the field, I don't know if that messed him up. If does he not care? Did he just want to get paid and now he doesn't really care? All I could think is, man, Bill O'Brien looks pretty good for what he was able to do with Deshaun Watson in Houston and make him like, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But now, I mean, he's horrible.
So it's one of 2 things. It's either the coach or the quarterback. The coach and the quarterback, coach and the quarterback.
Wasn't Van Pelt.
How many times did you hear that over the years? Coach and the quarterback, coach and the quarterback. So in this particular case, last year without Watson and other quarterbacks, they actually won some games. They hung in there, and what did they finish, 11-6?
Oh, yeah.
So I think it is. I think it's Watson.
It is unquestionably the butt play enthusiast and sex predator at quarterback. It is. If you watch him, he's slow to read the field. He's slow to move in the pocket. He's slow to try to leave the pocket. He airmails passes. He's cooked. He's completely cooked.
He's fast to take
What's-
his pants off,
what's the
though.
pose?
I'll tell you what, though, Murray, that's something he should have put that on his football card.
But
Oh, happy baby is the pose. Yeah, if you know it. Yeah, come look for the keys. He is. That guy is a real sick F.
Wow. Next.
How about Van Pelt? Huh? Alex Van Pelt.
Woo. Thoughts on Packers-Eagles Friday night?
The field was embarrassing. Like, that just angered me. It wasn't a real football game. I will say I was impressed with the Eagles and Barkley and some of their additions, and they looked good. Jordan Love, I didn't think he played very well at all, but the field was just embarrassing.
it's an indictment on the league. It's the worst field I think I've ever seen. And that's saying something because there have been a lot of those. There have been plenty of games where we looked at it and said, that's a bad field. It's a horrible conditions. They're worried about the field going in. This thing was the worst thing I've ever seen. It felt like every other play.
Atrocious field, comatose crowd, subpar broadcast. It was unbelievably bad officiating. It was awful from top to bottom. It really was.
Jordan Love's lack of accuracy was notable to me, bothersome to me. Next.
If it's free, take 3.
Is Pittsburgh's road win in Atlanta a good or bad sign for the Steelers? Number 6.
I didn't understand this question, but
It's really for
It's
Murray.
an FU to Murray.
It's
Okay.
not an FU.
Well, I'll just say
it's setting you up.
I think the Steelers' defense is legit. But also Kirk Cousins is cooked. He has nothing. His Achilles injury. He doesn't use his legs at all. He can't throw the ball. He needs to step up and throw.
It's a good thing for the Steelers. Absolutely a good thing.
It's good for Mike Tomlin, bad for the Steelers fan base. Tomlin's going to drag him to 9 wins or so again. They'll squeak into the playoffs, only get humiliated once again by a better team a wild card weekend, and they still won't have a decent quarterback. Rinse and repeat. Do the same thing next year. We lost 35-10 wild card weekend. Great. Do you have a quarterback? Nope.
Murray wants to bet you $500 now on the money line.
Yeah, let's do it.
Week 1 of the
I'm
playoffs.
just giving Murray his airtime on that. Next.
Well over $80 million. It's kind of vague. Well over 80. I don't have the exact number.
Tool bag question. After watching the Tyreek Hill body cam footage, and after that was released overnight, who now is the biggest tool bag in that whole situation?
So I'm going to answer it this way. I just know that if I get pulled over by a cop and he tells me to do something, I say yes, sir, and I do it. But I'm not saying I have no idea. I don't know where Tyreek's background. I'm not black in America dealing with police, so I can't speak to any of that stuff. All I know is I would have just been like, okay, yes, sir, okay.
Can I say a little bit of everybody? If they tell you to roll down your window, roll down the window with all the stuff that has gone on with police being shot on pullovers and things like that. Just roll down the window. And then secondly, when he doesn't, do you have to throw him on the ground and kneel on his back?
Yeah,
Felt
that
a
was-
little excessive.
Okay,
And I'm being sarcastic.
So the reaction on the part of the police was way over the top.
There's
top.
no winners here. Now that I've seen the footage, the cops are way too excessive for dragging him down to the ground and making too much of it. But let's not make Tyreek Hill some kind of martyr. He pulled the "I'm too important for this" shtick. When they ask you to roll your windows down, leave the window down, and he has tint that's way too tinted, and he keeps putting the windows up, what's going on in there? If I'm a cop, I'm like, what are you doing? So he wouldn't comply. They're all tool bags.
Well, one thing that stands out to me, it's not tool baggy. Did you see Tyreek Hill in the post game when he was talking about it at the podium? Get a load of his arms. No, honestly, pull up right now on your computer and look at his biceps and his arms. It's almost cartoonish.
Like Popeye?
How yoked he is
He's a freak of nature.
in his upper body. It
In
is
his lower body.
I mean, and I'm so that I could have he's the cheetah. I get it. I understand that. Look at his arms. This guy. I mean, holy crap. It's Popeye. It's almost cartoon. And this has nothing to do with this is a total sidebar.
You're just impressed with his cut.
Well, I'm just it was interesting. Keon White got drug tested on Monday, right? Keon White is and this is what they should do. Drug test the good players. Someone goes off and looks like they're shot out of a cannon, test them. Looking at Tyreek Hill at the podium, if I were a drug tester, I'd say let's take a look at this guy. Because I honestly, the guy is absolutely yoked. But that's a lot to do about nothing. Anyway, next, go ahead, hit it.
2-0's on the table.
Neither here nor there is what I meant to say. Number 4, what teams across the league are already in the most trouble, Greg?
Panthers, Falcons, and Giants.
In order: Panthers, Giants, Bengals, Cleveland. So I put Cleveland
No
last.
Giants?
No, I have Giants second. I said
Oh, you did?
Giants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Open your ears up,
When
big
guests
boy.
aren't listening.
Seriously.
Murray.
The seasons are over for the Panthers and Giants. It's over. Find a new hobby on Sundays. Like it's useless for them.
Who's Bill coaching for next year?
The Browns are in trouble if they stick with Watson, and the Raiders actually might stink and not be fun bad like I thought.
Told you.
Next.
How about Van Pelt? Huh? Alex Van Pelt. Woo!
Greg, your thoughts on Cincinnati as a city?
So I've been there a few times. I've had to spend like multiple days Sports Illustrated when the Bengals were sort of on the rise, and I used to like it. It's kind of cool in that it's actually more Kentucky than it is like Midwest, but there's a mix of it. And I've been there. I've done baseball road trips there, covered them. But this last time, I don't know. Something's gone downhill in that city, and oh my God, the Brown family is so cheap. I hate that stadium. It's a freaking dump.
Cincinnati is one of the biggest wastes of space in all of continental America. Right up there with Connecticut.
I say not bad. I like most of the Rust Belt cities. I think that Skyline chili is delicious. Everything's cheap. You go over the bridge to Kentucky. You can go to one of the few Hofbrau houses in America, so you can like have Oktoberfest. It's a big German beer hall. I like Cincinnati.
By the
It's
way,
a
I
rat
will
hole.
say-
Rat hole.
I will say I always go to the Montgomery Inn Boathouse for ribs when I'm there, and Capello like turned his nose up at it. No. And I went after the game on Sunday. Spectacular.
Capello knows food. It's a rat hole.
Cincinnati, do you consider Cincinnati Rust Belt?
I do. I put
Technically,
It's
I
actually
think
more
it
the
is.
South.
Oh,
I mean,
is it technically Rust Belt?
Well, I just put Ohio, Western PA, like that whole sort of.
It's more southern than Rust
It
Belt.
is. You know, you spend any time, whether it's the airport or at the stadium, a lot of Southern accents there.
Airport's in Kentucky. Anyway, next.
If it's free, take 3.
Along those lines, what is your least favorite NFL city?
Buffalo. It's a pain in the ass to get to. It's always gray there. Covering the Patriots, you normally have to go during the winter, which is a disaster. I had to drive Shaughnessy back one year because our plane got
Well, that'll do
snow.
it.
Yeah.
Drama. That's PTSD.
That was fun.
Cincinnati. It's a rat hole.
I'll just give you the cities I hate that have teams that I never want to go back to: Phoenix, Denver, Jacksonville, Charlotte.
Makes me want to stick needles in my eye.
Cincinnati.
Oh my God,
rat
I'd rather
hole.
stick
It's a
needles
rat
in my
hole.
eyes.
Phoenix, Denver.
Jacksonville, Charlotte.
I take Denver over
Phoenix.
Cincinnati 8 days a
Denver's
week.
awesome.
I hate Denver.
Denver's good,
Denver as an actual city
and it has sun.
is it's sunny. It's the sunniest city in America, and you get outside of it, wonderful. The actual city,
Sucks.
it does.
Yeah.
It's actually not nice in there. It's not a nice city.
Like the
I like
pedestrian mall
Colorado.
downtown?
San Fran level homeless too. Real aggressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've been there, but the times I was
The
there,
homeless
it's like,
was pretty bad in Cincinnati too.
Was it?
Weekend.
Well, there's a shark.
next, last one.
I don't think this is one of the stronger segments.
Sorry, Dan. Thoughts on Jets Niners last night?
I liked one of the tabloids. Their headline today was, "At least he didn't get hurt." Like, that was their front page headline. That pretty much says it all.
No, that's exactly right. The Jets, they could be on that list of teams in trouble, but I'll give them more time.
SOJ, same old Jets. I don't think much has changed at all.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.